You must have education on your mind.
Yep. Do I look like I'm going to class?
You do. You've got the backpack. Looks good.
Yeah, it's that time of year. We're going back to school. So as a professional, a parent, and a grandparent, I'm definitely thinking about school and education. Aubrey, I've definitely seen the long-term multi-generational effect that education has on families.
Yeah, one of the big things when I think about education, especially post-secondary education, is the cost. It's such a big topic in our planning, and with people that have kids and grandkids, how to pay for it is a big question.
Right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Different ways to plan for that anticipated expense. So we're going to start with the simplest options. Some families simply focus on building their net worth, build equity in their home, contribute to their retirement plans, pay off their debt. All those can, increase their net worth over time. And so it's a very simple option. Parents don't set up any kind of special account. They don't buy anything strange. The plan is to just be able to tap into that wealth to help the child when and if he or she needs it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like a version of building your net worth might be somebody who puts down a down payment on a rental property. The renters pay the mortgage over the 15, 20 years that the kid gets through high school, and then they sell the property to pay for college. Maybe they put $60,000 down on a $300,000 property. If that property increases by 4% a year, then they might sell it for $600,000. I mean, that's a good chunk to pay for education.
Right. So they put $60,000 down. They sold it with a $300,000 profit. That's not a bad return on your money.
Yeah.
So, the other thing that I like about that option, Aubrey, is that the rental property is not liquid. So the family is less likely to tap into it for a trip to Disney World or a new car. And the other thing that's kind of cool about a rental property is that the children can be involved. They might be able to go over and mow the grass or, clean the property between tenants, stuff like that.
Yeah, remind them, this is for your college. Yeah, another simple option is for one or both parents to increase their work, for example, after the kids graduate from high school.
Right. Sometimes there's a parent who's either been home with the kids or working part-time, and those kids graduate. It's a good time for that parent to step up and increase the income for the family.
So increasing parents' net worth over time and then working maybe some additional hours once they graduate are both simple options. Let's take it a step further.
There is a way to invest so that growth isn't taxed. And, we like tax-free growth, right? So let's look at some of those tax-advantaged ways to save for education. So the first is, if you need life insurance anyway, you can get a permanent life insurance policy, and that cash value grows also tax-free, much like a Roth IRA. Many families find that to be an easy way to go.
Another way to save is in a Roth IRA account. So you can always get the contributions you make to a Roth IRA back without any penalty. What you put in, you can take out. But when the purpose is for tuition and fees, you can also access the growth on a Roth IRA. So if you contribute regularly to a Roth account over time, that grows, you can take that money out, your contributions plus the growth, if it's being used for tuition and fees.
Okay, so just to clarify, even if it's not for education, you can withdraw your contributions with no penalty. But for tuition and fees, you can withdraw the contributions and the growth with no penalty. Awesome. Okay, a third way is to save within a 529 plan. And here in Colorado, every contribution that you make to a 529 plan is subtracted from your income for tax purposes. So that effectively lowers your Colorado taxes by almost 4.5% for each contribution. And no matter what state you live in, the growth in a 529 account is not taxed as long as those funds are used for education.
Yes, and Congress recently passed legislation that permits up to a lifetime max of $35,000 to be rolled from a 529 plan into a Roth account. And this is really great for kids that ended up getting scholarships or working through college or found other ways to pay for college and they didn't use the money in the 529 plan. Then that money can be transferred to a Roth account. This was an issue because people were like, oh, I don't know if my kid's going to go to college, if this money's going to get used. And now it's trapped in the 529 plan. And here's a outlet to move that money out of the 529 plan into something that might be more useful.
Okay, cool. Another big concern is, wait a minute, I don't want to get locked into a 529 plan. What if my kid goes to truck driving school or cosmetology school? And that's a really good question, right? But all of the options we've talked about today would apply to less traditional types of education, you know, whether it's the trades or culinary school, golf school, coding school, all those. As long as the school's accredited, you can use any of those options.
I'm thankful my parents were able to help me some with college, going to Iowa State. You know, it's really gratifying to work with clients that value education and want to support their kids and grandkids in this way. It's certainly a lot on my mind with a 10 and 7-year-old. In addition to all of these financial planning questions, it is just so important to talk with your kids and grandkids and how important education is to you if that's something that you value, and make sure you're all on the same page when it comes to planning for the future.
Just to recap, the simplest way to plan for college is just work on building your net worth as a family. The other simple option is to increase your income when you get to those post-secondary education years. You can also save inside a life insurance policy, a Roth IRA, or a 529. They all have their advantages, and if you want to talk those through, then don't hesitate to reach out.
Hey, I'm Aubrey Coleman.
I'm Elizabeth Olsen
with Financial Consulting Group 360. If you have any questions, we'd love to connect with you and talk them over.